Good morning, children. We have already discussed the poem Have You Earned Your Tomorrow by Edgar Guest, wherein the poet has told us that when we pass by someone, then we should at least show kindness enough to just stop by him and put him a question how he is, okay, and not be done with that. Rather, we should be concerned in what kind of mental state he is. We should try to solve the enigma he is placed in by his fate. Not only this, if we can help him out, we should always be ever ready to help, to extend a helping hand to him. And in case we do all these things, then what will be the outcome? The outcome will be that we shall be very happily able to sleep at night. Why? Because when we retrospect at night, when we introspect at night, how has our day been? Then what happens? We are either sore or dissatisfied, or we are happy. And this dissatisfaction or satisfaction, happiness of ours depends on how we have spent our day. Whether the day was well spent, whether the day was sorely spent. And therefore, the poet here tries to give the solution that once you decide to be ever helping to all the people, then you not only will be happy, but also the Almighty will be blessing you with more days, with more morrows, better tomorrows for you to live your life. Now, let us discuss the technical part of the poem. Let us come to the rhyming words of the poem first. Children, the rhyming words of the poem are the last word of every line in every stanza. Okay. For example, in this poem, let us consider the first stanza. The first stanza reads like, is anybody happier because you passed his way? Does anyone remember that you spoke to him today? Now, mark the last word of each line. The last word of the first line is way. The last word of the second line is today. So, way and today, these two words end in same kind of pronunciation, and therefore, way and today, these two words are the rhyming words. Getting it? Likewise, see the third line and the fourth line of the first stanza. This day is almost over and its toiling time is through. Is there anyone to utter now a kindly word of you? Similarly, the last word of the third line, through, and the last word of the fourth line, you, both these words also, through and you, both these words also pronounce similarly, and therefore through and you become the rhyming words. And in the same way, the rhyming words of the rest of the poem are along, throng, way, today. That was regarding the second stanza. Now let us come to the third stanza. The rhyming words of the third stanza are fast, past, said, ahead. The rhyming words of the fourth stanza are spent, discontent, say, and today. Getting it? So this was all about the rhyming words. Now let us see the rhyme scheme. Now pay attention, children. The rhyme scheme of a poem depends again on the rhyming words or the ending words of each line. Okay. The words that sound the same, the words of which pronunciation appears the same, both those words are supposed to be of the same category. For example, way and today, both these words sound the same, they are pronounced in the same way, okay, and therefore these two lines will be given the letters A. The rhyme scheme of these two lines will be A. Okay. Now see the third and fourth line of the first stanza. This day is almost over and its toiling time is through. Is there anyone to utter now a kindly word of you? So through and you, these two words also rhyme with one another, and therefore the rhyme scheme here would be B. So way, today, A, through, you, B. Okay. So in this way the rhyme scheme of the first stanza is A, B. Now let us come to the second stanza. Did you give a cheerful greeting to the friend who came along, or a churlish sort of howdy and then vanish in the throng? Again the same here, children, along and throng. Therefore the rhyme scheme, the rhyming words here are along and throng, and the rhyme scheme here is, of these two lines, rhyme scheme is AA. And then let us come to the third and fourth line. Were you selfish, pure and simple as you rushed along the way? Or is someone mighty grateful for a deed you did today? So way, today, again BB. So in short, along, throng, way, today. In this way, the rhyme scheme of this stanza is AABB again. Okay. And for the third stanza also, the poet has employed the same rhyme scheme, because the words, the lines of this stanza end like fast, past, said, ahead. Okay, these are the rhyming words. Fast, past. So A, and said, ahead. And so here the rhyme scheme is BB. Therefore, the rhyme scheme of this stanza also is AABB. This rhyme scheme has been employed by our poet throughout the poem, and therefore the fourth stanza also stands no exception to this rhyme scheme. Let us see the fourth stanza now. Did you waste the day or lose it? Was it well or sorely spent? So spent, and in the second line, last word is discontent. Spent, discontent, AA. And the third and fourth line of the fourth stanza are say, today, so BB. So in this way, spent, discontent, say, today, AABB. So the rhyme scheme of this stanza also AABB. Now, let us come to the figures of speech of this poem. A figure of speech is a technique or a device used by the poet to express whatever he wants to express more effectively. Okay, a figure of speech is a use of figurative language in order to put his expression in a more effective way, in a more telling way. There are many figures of speech. Let us confine ourselves with to the figures of speech which appear in this poem. Okay, first of all, let us see the first stanza. Let us come to the second line. Does anyone remember that you spoke to him today? Here, to and today. Both these words start with the same letter T, and the sound of the letter T is repeated here for the musical effect, and therefore the figure of speech alliteration is employed here. Let us see the definition of alliteration. What is an alliteration? An alliteration is the occurrence of the same letter or the same consonant sound in the beginning of the words, at least two words or more than two words in quick succession. मीन्स एक ही लाइन में जब दो या दो से ज्यादा शब्दों के शुरुआत में एक ही लेटर आता है या एक ही साउंड से वो दोनों शब्द शुरू होते हैं, तो figure of speech होती है alliteration, and this figure of speech is employed in order to gain the musical effect by the poet. Okay, now let me tell you first what is a consonantal sound. There are 26 letters in English language. Out of 26, A, E, I, O, U, these are the vowels, and the rest of the letters are consonants. So when there is the repetition of consonantal sound, then that figure of speech is alliteration. Getting it? So let us come to the second line of the first stanza once again. Does anyone remember that you spoke to him today? Here, to and today. At both these places, the letter T or the sound of the consonant T is repeated for musical effect. Okay, now let us come to the third line. This day is almost over and its toiling time is through. Now see here children, toiling time. Here two words in quick succession we do find starting with the same letter T or the same consonantal sound T. Okay, so toiling time, therefore this figure of speech here is alliteration. Now let us come to the second stanza, first line. Did you give a cheerful greeting to the friend who came along? Here, give and greeting. These two words begin with the same letter G or begin with the same consonantal sound G, and therefore obviously it obtains a musical effect also, and therefore the figure of speech employed here is alliteration. Let us come to line number 3 in second stanza now. Were you selfish, pure and simple as you rushed along the way? Here children again, selfish and simple. These two words start with the same letter S or with the same consonantal sound S, and therefore this is the example of alliteration. Now fourth line in the second stanza, or is someone mighty grateful for a deed you did today? Here also deed, D-E-E-D and D-I-D, did. At both these places, these words are beginning with the letter D and they repeat the consonantal sound. Therefore, the figure of speech present here is alliteration. Now let us come to the stanza number 3. Here see the second line of the stanza of stanza number 3. That you helped a single brother of the many that you passed. Here children, the words that and the, they start with the same letters TH or the same consonantal sound the, and therefore the figure of speech present here is alliteration. Okay. And now let us come to stanza number 4, the last one. Did you waste the day or lose it? Was it well or sorely spent? Here was, well and waste. All these three words are starting with the same letter W, and they begin with the same consonantal sound V, and therefore the figure of speech present here is alliteration. In the same line again, mark the words sorely spent which have come in quick succession. They are adjacent to each other. They are closely connected, okay, and sorely spent, both these words start with the same letter S, and they and the consonantal sound S is repeated here for the musical effect, and therefore the figure of speech present here is alliteration. So this is all about the figure of speech alliteration in this poem. Now we can see that the figure of speech called interrogation has been used by the poet here in this poem throughout the poem. What is an interrogation? An interrogation is the asking of a question not in order to obtain its answer, but to put the point of the poet more effectively before the readers. Okay, and this figure of speech we do find in line number 1, 2 and 4 of the first stanza, line number 1, 2 and 4 of second stanza, line number 2 and 4 of third stanza, as well as line number 1, 2 and 4 of the last stanza. Okay, after that we do find that one more figure of speech called synecdoche has been employed here by the poet. Now let us try to understand first what is a synecdoche. S-Y-N-E-C-D-O-C-H-E. Synecdoche is a figure of speech where a part indicates the whole or the whole indicates the part. For example, there is a poem called Mirror. Okay, and in that poem, the mirror talks to the readers. It speaks to the readers, and the mirror says that the opposite wall and I are best friends. But the faces come and they separate us over and over. The mirror says that the faces separate the wall from me again and again. Now think, children, can the faces only come to see their reflection in the mirror, or is it a part of the person who come to see their his reflection in the mirror? Obviously, people do come, not only the faces. Getting it? So here the mirror has used the word faces to indicate that is a part. He has used a part to indicate the whole person. Getting it? So likewise, wherever a part indicates the whole, we do find the figure of speech synecdoche, which we find here also. Come to the third stanza and the third line therein. Okay, the line reads like, is a single heart rejoicing over what you did or said? See here, single heart rejoicing. Is at least a single heart happy because of the words you have uttered or because of the deeds that you have done for him? Here the poet uses the word heart to indicate the entire person. Is a single heart happy for you? That means is a single person happy? Okay, have you made even a single person happy today? So here a part, that is heart, indicates the whole person, the entire person. So this is the situation. Here a part indicates the whole, and therefore the figure of speech present here in this line is synecdoche. And with this we come to the end of the figures of speech employed here by the poet. I hope you have understood this well. If you haven't, if you have some problem, you are free to ask me your doubts.